Howdy ho, good neighbor. How's you doing today? All right, back on the farm. I got a bunch of stuff I want to talk about today. It's a little lower today because of what I want to talk about with you today. We're going to focus on the bung sow. Now, the bung sow I've heard called wing block. I prefer the other term wing hand. And there's a big reason for that, because once you put the word block in your brain, that's where it stays. And we don't want to think of this as a block. Again, the bung sow wing hand is here. Now, if we practice with just the arms, it will become a block. And I'm not sure if my Wing Chun wants to do a block like that. And there's a reason for that. I'll go through those in a couple of minutes. What we want to think about doing is, again, motion of the hips. So we redirect bung sow, wing hand, like the wings of a bird, perhaps a crane. So when we're up against our adversary, I'm going to go low for this one. We can go high. I want to get the concepts low first. So when I'm against my adversary, which is he's cutting wood, I guess, turning the body to get the redirection. Turn the body to redirect. Now again, you can always get the footwork in there. Turn the body to get the redirection. Now whenever I do any of my martial arts, especially my Wing Chun, I start to think about a little bit about yin-yang theory. You want to say that almost properly. I could say yin-yang, but no, that's not quite it. We want to say yin-yang. Now when we talk about yang, we talk about power. Yang will be very powerful. Your pak sows, your paks will be a yang force going out towards. Your bung sow, yin. So you'll be redirecting the force by you, drawing it into you. Tung sow, in my mind, would be a yang force to direct to a yin. So I'm using yang and yin on that one. So pak sows here. Bung sow is here, and tung sows in between, using one to gain entrance to the other. Alright, I'm going to go back to the bung sow now. Usually we don't use it off a lead-in. We use it off a secondary or an emergency strike. Somebody's trying to pop me and I barely see it, and I only have a chance to move, to react. There's my bung sow there. Another way we would be able to use it is in with the wu hand. Wu hands here. You might have seen that in a movie once. I know a little guy named Bruce Lee. I think he used it in Chinese Connection. Yes, Chinese Connection. That motion there. Then I've seen it mutated to other not so pleasant things. But anyway, this is your bung sow here. Bung sow will redirect. Now again, if you don't use your hips, you start smashing into it. So we want to make sure we use the hips to redirect. Notice my other hand comes up instinctually. We don't want to have it swap my hands. I tell my kids, we have two sets of cheeks. These cheeks and these cheeks. We can take a hit like that in these cheeks. If I start doing that to these cheeks, it won't be pretty. So right from here, that's my bung sow. If I want, I can always fall off. Now, let's go high with that. I'll move my dummy. Oh, I'm going to have a dummy. Oh, we should have a dummy. So now this may be closer to a punch to the face, right about here. Can you still use the bung sow? Why, yes, you can. Now notice one thing. When I use my bung sows, if I don't fall over, it's up with a root. How root. How root indeed. Now whenever I use my bung sao, my wing hand, I keep my arm 135-degree bend. 135-degree bend. I get that from Randy Williams, another Wing Chun guy out on the West Coast. Really comes into play with me. I like to use that one a lot because it seems to be the best structure I can keep for myself and give to my students. Alright, so that's my bung sao. Now we start to go higher here. You also have other uses for that 135 degrees. Even the bung sao formation. Pak sao is here. Tang sao is here, 135 degrees. Bung sao is here. Wu sao is here. So you put them all together, you have a pretty good set. Tak da, tan da, bung wu da. And you get to be able to put things together. Now, when you start to do drilling, of course, you start with your basic pak. You start with your basic bung sao. Then you can add your footwork right away. Don't hesitate. Start to move. Start to build your words, your sentences, your paragraphs. Your whole story should be yours. Here. Bruce Lee was a wise man. He said, you know, build what's comfortable for you. What I teach in my school is martial arts. I had studied a few arts, and when I teach the arts at my school, I say this is the art we're working on right now. The concepts we will add into other arts to make us the best martial artists we can. And that's what you should always think about doing. Take the concepts of all your arts and put them together to make the best martial artist that you can be. Alright, there's your bung sao wing hand for you today. Enjoy the beautiful sunshine.